Hello guys, I'm Super Ron, welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 11 of my GBS Zero Build. In the last episode we managed to convince ourselves that we needed a new tool for the G unit, so I thought I'd bring you guys along for the trip and go and collect it, so let's go. And we're back at the G unit with my brand new toy. Last week we rolled over 500 subscribers, so I've treated myself. This is something that I've wanted for a very long time, but I've never had the excuse to get one. But on the kit car we've got some spaces I need to make up for the seat mounts, and this just seemed the perfect time to get one. So this is the Clarke 6-inch metal bandsaw, and if you do a little Google, this is the one everyone recommends. It's a great price. The only slight negatives is it has a bit of a weak base, which is something we could upgrade in the future. And the standard blade that comes with it isn't all that great. But apart from that, it's a very, very heavy. You just saw me get it out of the car. Heavy is good, it's 58 kilos. And so I feel pretty pumped getting it out of the car by myself. So let's unwrap it. And here's the Meccano set. Can't get over how heavy it is. I can barely lift it out of the box. So the saying goes, work smarter, not harder. Got the engine crane out just to lift it out, but it's a solid cast base and the arm's solid cast as well, which is good, means it'll be all nice and rigid. These are the base plates, the stand that it sits on. As you can see, they're quite thin and flimsy and people have made their own. So I'm going to stick these on for now and see how it goes. And we've got all the other bits this end. Nice sturdy metal pulleys and a belt to go on. And all the brackets and handles. So let's start assembling. And all finished. That wasn't too bad to do. Most things were pre-assembled, so it's just a few bits needed bolted on. I've got all the stand, everything on. Lifts up nice and easy, spring assisted. Yeah, super happy. You saw me fit a few safety switches and fit the pulleys on. There's 3 speeds the pulleys can be set at, so I've just got it on the middle one at the moment. And also across the back, you can set the angle of the cut as well. There's a little handle here which moves the vise in and out, and the kill switch and on button is there, and it actually, as you're cutting through, once it's cut through, it turns itself off. So super happy. And what do you do when you get a new toy? You just start cutting things up. and that was definitely very satisfying. I'm so impressed with how well it cuts. We've got through a whole range of different things there. We've got some rectangle box, some aluminium stock, some tubes, some box, some threaded bar, some aluminium plate, some more box section. And I haven't tidied these up. These are straight out and it cuts so cleanly. There's no burring or no ripping of material. And I've just measured them up and it cuts dead straight out of the box. Very, very impressed. I've just tried the 45-degree angles as well. This is no cleaning up, this is straight out of the saw. As you can see, it's like a picture frame. So very impressed and very happy. And it also comes with this little attachment that turns it into a vertical bandsaw. So I'll pop that on and have a go with that. And that converts it into a vertical bandsaw, so you can do more freehand cutting, sliding it along the bed. Let's just have a little play with that. Well, I couldn't be more happy with that. It's absolutely amazing. It even collects all the filings underneath in the little tray. They fall down this slot into the tray, so it saves on mess. So let's stop messing around. What we actually bought it for was to chop these big bits of aluminium stock to make the spacers for the seats. The only thing I could use to cut them to start with, I tried a grinder and that just gummed up. I tried a hacksaw and that's just too fine. The lathe just took too long to get through it. So what I managed to use was a wood saw. But as you can see, that left a right mess. So hopefully with this bandsaw, we're able to get some nice clean cuts. And if I need to just face them up on the lathe, just to straighten them up, and that will be a lot easier. So let's give it a test. Here it is, straight out of the saw. That looks awesome. That took about 20 minutes on that cut. I've only got it on the medium setting at the moment. But that's 20 minutes. I didn't have to touch it. I didn't have to watch it. I could just go away, do other things and get other jobs done at the same time. I didn't. I just sat here mesmerised like you guys and watched it go all the way through. But it does say for aluminium, you can put it on the fast setting. So for the next cut, I think I might put it on the top pulley and see how long that takes. Super happy with that. So that's the first spacer made. I did up the speed on that one. You saw me change the pulleys, but it actually took about the same time. So it might be the blade. People do recommend you use the bimetallic blades on these. This is just a standard one that comes with it. So I'll carry on with this for now, but in about 20 minutes, we've got a spacer made. And the next one done. I'm so impressed at how well this is cutting. Very, very impressed. So a bit of a problem, it's my own fault really, because we've been chopping these up into smaller pieces before we got the bandsaw. I'm not going to be able to clamp it to do another one, so I might have to do the last one on a lathe. I'll see how it goes, but best purchase ever. all 4 spaces all made up. You saw me run a tap down the middle, and that's to M8, and that's going to be for assembly. It is still going to be nut and bolted through the floor, but that'll allow me to screw these up to the runners, then I can just slide the whole thing over, and then ultimately it'll be held on by the nut below. But that'll just make it a lot easier to put it together by myself. That's the seat all mounted up. You saw me mark out and drill the holes. There was already some pre-drilled holes in the floor for a previous seat, but they weren't quite the right stud pattern for my runners. So I marked out and re-drilled where the seat was going to go. I decided where to go forwards, backwards, side to side. I'm about average height, 5'10", so I made sure it was comfortable for me, and the runners were completely overlapping, engaged in themselves, because that's where they're at their strongest point. And then drilled the holes dead in the center of the floor. You can see it's still got long bolts sticking out. Eventually, when I decide on the height, I will cut them down and put nylocks on there. Or the other option is to bolt it up from the bottom, so you've just got the flat heads of the bolts sticking out. It will be a lot harder to assemble that way, but at the end of the day, you only assemble it once, and that'll give it a nice flush bottom so it won't get caught up. But I'm pretty happy. It sits nicely in there, and we've got the height pretty well, so I can see over the dashboard when I'm sitting in there. And as you can see, we've got loads of room to the roll bar at the back, so I'm going to call that a success. And with the driver's seat all bolted in, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. The star of the show today has most definitely been the new bandsaw. I can't believe I've gone for so long in the past just making do with an angle grinder, marking everything out and trying to cut box section or tube nice and straight, because 9 times out of 10 you always have to linish it up to get a nice smooth and get it to mate up to other pieces. This takes all the hassle out of that. You can just clamp it in, press go, and off it goes. No hassle, don't have to worry about it, don't have to guide it. You just let it do its job, and it's going to be such a time saver down here because I can get on with whatever else around the unit. But today it's not been a massive time saver because I've been sitting there with you guys behind the camera watching it cut through everything that we've put under there. So now we've run out of things to cut for today, so it gets a well-deserved rest. But don't worry, we're going to be seeing a lot more of this in future episodes. I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate 500 subscribers than with this. So now all we've got to think about is what we're going to do for 1,000 subscribers. I have always wanted a milling machine, so maybe we can make that happen. So if you've got any friends that might enjoy the build, or if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do, and we can get those numbers really clocking up. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed watching it, and I'm sure you have too. So make sure you give it a like, and until next time, make sure you have fun.